Hi everyone, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today I want to talk about sort of a a set of collections from different levels. Okay, right? I'm not talking about the tiers or high horology and so forth, but rather almost economic tiers in terms of affordable watches, medium watches, and then what we'll call high. All right, not high price, but sort of higher up the ladder, so to speak. And what I wanted to find was the most affordable watches that I thought would be worth having for a collector. We're going to do that, and so let's get started. Now, the first level I'm going to talk about is the affordable, and I'm going to have three different kinds of watches. A sports watch, what I call an office watch. These are daily beaters, if you will, but a little more than that. And then a dress watch. So let's take a look at this. The first level, the movements are, none of the movements are in-house, so to speak, okay? So let's start off with this Hamilton Crosswind chronograph for an affordable sport. And what I did is that all of this first group is under $1,000. And by under 1,000, I mean new from a secondary market. I have the retail market value along with the what I call it's available. Needs it from the secondary market. So this khaki crosswind chronograph on the sports, by the way, too, on all of the sports watches, I selected a chronograph. All right. Now this one has what Hamilton calls an H21, which is in fact an ETA 7750. Hamilton is owned by Swatch, which owns ETA and so forth. So I think that there may be some modification, but not a great deal. All right, so if you get an H21, you're getting an ETA 7750, which is actually a pretty good movement. And you get it in this big old chronograph, and it's got, I think, just about everything a chronograph could want. And on the back, there's some kind of gauge. I'm not sure what it's for perhaps a wind gauge or a navigation aid for pilot crosswinds. Okay, so that's the first one, the affordable sport. This one I found, I mean, if I was on a super budget and I really wanted a sports watch, this is the one I think I'd like to have. All right, now for an office watch, I chose the Tissot Heritage for one reason, and that's because it's got the ETA 6498, the Unitas ETA 6498-1. The -1 is a 2.5 hertz movement. In other words, 18,000 vibrations per hour, which is the same that you find in the very top watches. All of the top watchmakers, Roger Smith, Caribou and Laughton, right on down the line, you find the same thing, this 2.5 hertz. Also, too, it's a hand wound. Another thing I like. These are the things that I like. I'm not necessarily saying they're the best, but if I were looking for something I had to wear every day, banging around the office, doing whatever office work that I had, this is the kind of thing I'd like to have. I can check the time. It's got a nice clear dial on it, and I can always flip it over and look at the back, which is a very cool movement with a great big old balance wheel on it. Now the final one for affordable is affordable dress watch, and this one I like a lot. This is a Christopher Ward C5 Malvern 595. I don't know where they got that that long name from. Now it has an ETA 7001. Now 7001 is based on a Peugeot 7001, which was designed to be an extra thin. And for a dress watch, you want a nice thin watch. It's got nothing extra, no date, no second hands. It's just a really nice, clean watch. Now here I only have the retail price, $680. That's because I don't know. There might be some considerable savings, but this on lower on the secondary market. But I figure why bother? This is a great price and it's a neat looking watch, and it's hand wound. Like I said, I'm a little prejudiced about that, but there you have it. And so that's another. So those are the three affordables: the Hamilton, the Tissot, and this is Christopher Ward. The three watches. They don't cost a lot. They all have something about them that's interesting. Okay, now let's go up to the next level. And for medium sport, there's again. I sort of have a certain type of collector in mind, a person who's really interested in the mechanics of it, the mechanical mechanics, without silicon or any of the other kind of things that have certain advantages, granted, but not what I would suggest for, especially for a collector of such watches. Okay, now this is the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch Chronograph, all right, and it's it lists at $6,400, and it's available for $4,250. Okay, now you can see the prices are a little higher here. It's got now this particular one has the caliber 1861, which has a base of a Lemania 1873. It's hand wound. This particular model, though, and to me the important thing about it is you can flip it over and you can see the movement. Now the difficult time I had was sort of my own conflict about this, was that recommending either one with the George Daniels coaxial escapement or one without. Well, the Lemania base doesn't have it. So I also decided that, well, I'll put in another Speedmaster. This one is Speedmaster Racing Chronometer Chronograph. List on this one is $4,700, and the available price, you can find it for around $3,290. It's an automatic instead of a hand wound. Not my favorite, but that's my own idiosyncrasy. And also, it's got the coaxial escapement in it. So, either one of these watches, I think, would be a great one for sort of a medium level sports watch. I'd probably go for the one with the Lemania in it, as much as I like the coaxial whole idea of it. Okay, now for an office watch, this is one that lately I've been liking better and better and better. And this is sort of a little nicer office, even the executive, a nice, great one for a junior executive. And this is the Bulgari Octo Roma. Now, it lists for $6,500. And this is in steel. And you can find them. I found one for brand new, unused, unworn, for $37.95. And again, it's got its own in-house movement, the caliber BVL 191. It's not based on anything else, so unless it's another Bulgari movement. This particular design may have a Genta hand in there. Gerald Genta was involved with Bulgari for a while, and this may be one of his designs. I'm not too sure. I like it, though. Okay, after the Bulgari, which I like very much, would be a very classy office watch. For sort of a medium price dress watch, the one I like is Girard-Perregaux 1966. Now, it does have a second hand, and it does have a date window to it, but the date window is very small, and the second hand is pretty elegant little center second there, so it doesn't clutter it up. And the whole idea of a dress watch is sort of to be understated, but there. It's a hard way to put it, but and I think that this Girard-Perregaux 1966 does a good job. They retail for about $7,900, but you can find them. I mean, that's almost $8,000, but you can find them for around $49, $42, and that's in stainless steel, brand new. Okay, now let's go to the high end. One of the best deals I think around anywhere, and for the high sport. Now, and all of the sport watches, remember, we're looking for a chronograph. And this Parmigiani Florio Tonda Metrograph, they retail for $11,900 price. They're available for brand new for $5,380. That's one thing about Parmigiani. It's one of these really good brands, very good watches. The movements are designed by Michel Parmigiani. They're put together by Vasseur. You got seriously good good material here. The movement in this particular one is a PF315, which runs the chronograph and so forth. Very clean watch for a chronograph. This is one I always keep my eye on. Days I'm gonna maybe get one myself. All right, moving right along now. For office watch, one I've always really liked and liking it more and more is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Geophysique True Second Deadbeat seconds. This is in steel. Now, the retail on this is $9,100. These, like I said, these are higher level ones or higher price ones. But you can find them. I found the best deal I could find was around $77,150. Now, the thing I like about this watch is I like the clean lines on it, but it's got jumping seconds. Now, the jumping seconds by themselves are fine. Every quartz watch has jumping seconds, so it's not that big of a deal. But for a mechanical watch, it's a really cool thing. And this one has a remontoire that deals with the jumping seconds, which I just think is uber cool. They threw in a gold rotor for you there, too. It's sort of nice if you have to have an automatic. But this would be a great office watch. It's one of those watches that people who know watches would have a lot of respect for, okay? People who don't could care less what you wear, so it doesn't really matter. But this is a neat watch, and it's something I'd like to have. And if you ever need some kind of thing where jumping seconds is important, you got it. I'm not sure where that would be, though. All right, now our final watch is what I call a high dress watch. And what I found that I really like is this Glashütte Original 60s. Love this watch. The retail price on this is $7,500, and it's available for $48.25. Now, this is a steel watch, got a steel case to it. It's got gold indexes and gold hands. And it's a very pretty watch. I like the one with the white dial. They have them in this this sort of effect called degradé, where the dial itself has sort of this texture to it, and they have it in green and orange. Those are beautiful watches too. I think I like the plain white one now. It's just the way with the golds and gold and black indexes on it. I think is really cool. It's got, again, in-house caliber. All of the ones from the medium to the high all have in-house calibers to them. If this is not a set of watches that anybody who's a watch collector say, oh, I agree with everything here. But I wanted to bring these up for two reasons. One, I wanted to get away. I was just thinking about the whole concept of high horology. It is a marketing thing. And so we shouldn't have to worry about that. What I think we need to do as watch collectors is find things that we say, hey, this is an important thing to me in a watch. And so I'd really like to hear your comments on this. Something from the low, the middle, and high that you think is a good brand. And you can argue that, oh, well, that doesn't belong in high, or this doesn't belong in middle, or this one. Okay, that's fine. Um, but really, what I want to do is just to trade ideas, just to sort of stimulate the conversation. By the way, I have on my FP Journe Chronometer Resonance. This is one of the two watches I'm taking right now. I'll be when you're watching this video, I'll either be in New York or on my way to New York, and I'm taking the two watches that are going with me are my Lang and Hein, Frederick II, and my Resonance. The other ones are cooling their heels in the bank vault, so they don't like it there. So I have to come back and explain to them how come they didn't get to go this time. By the way, which reminds me, tomorrow on every Saturday at 3:30 Eastern time, we always have a discussion. But I'll either be still at the conference center, or I'll be on the train on the way home. So we'll do something on Sunday. If you're going to go to this show, this is the one in New York, the Watch Time show. It starts Friday today at 5:30, and then starts again tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. But we're going to meet ahead of time at I think it's called Andrew's coffee shop in New York. It's very near Gotham Hall where it is. And so if you're going to go to the show, if you're going Friday night to the party, that one is we're going to meet at the Chopek booth. And if you're going to the one tomorrow on Saturday, we're going to meet at Andrew's coffee house. A lot of this stuff is on the High Horology Lounge FB page if you want to take a look at that. Okay, well, listen, I look forward to hearing from you, and I really, I hope that on Sunday I'm going to have a live stream, and we're not going to have a review this week on Sunday, a collection review, for two reasons. One, I didn't get any. I ran out of watch reviews, so if you want to send one in, please do. Collection reviews. And the other reason is that I'm going to be tied up at the show most of the day. So what I'll probably do, I'll probably have one possibly later on Sunday with some stuff from the show. I'll have instead of having our review thing, we'll do that. Okay, well, listen, thanks for coming by. This is an invitation to subscribe if you'd like. And until, well, I think either sometime Sunday, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection.